Hey guys, it's Barking Madly here again. After thinking about the video that should be actually finished processing right now, I got to thinking about a couple of aspects of this whole circuit. You might recognize most of the drawing here. Here's the disc with the magnets on it, and here's the coils. Ideally, we'll probably have somewhere between 8 and 14 coils on it. I'm not quite sure yet, and probably a similar number of magnets, but that part's to be discovered yet. One thing we've got however many different numbers of individual circuits. Each one has the coil for the pickup, a bridge rectifier, and then it outputs a voltage. Now, a couple things about that. When I was measuring voltage, I've measured it both about, call it 0.8 volts reliably at the DC, and then I measured it before the rectifier using AC, and it's about anywhere from 0.7 to 1.1 volts. Now, when you're measuring AC, there's one thing that I'm not quite sure how this particular voltmeter measures, but usually it's if you're measuring 0.7 volts, it's something called RMS, which is root mean square. It's not the maximum peak voltage. This peak voltage here is actually usually, I think it's 1.414 times RMS. And I don't have a calculator handy in here, but that's 1.4 times 0.7 is going to be, let's see, right around 1 volt. So if that's the case, the output voltage here is going to be, could be, especially if we used a capacitor across here, could end up being, instead of 0.8 volts as measured, could end up being 0.9 or even 1.0 volts, depending on the load. So that was, if anybody out there knows anything about that, could anybody confirm or deny that? And then second of all, what I was thinking of is if we get, let's say, 0.8 here, 0.8 here, and so on, do you end up putting these in series like this? I think that's right. That way you've got your maximum potential across the two sides. But just want to make sure if there's anybody out there that knows it offhand or is really good friends with somebody that knows it, I'm going to be sending this video to a friend of mine who should know it, but he may or may not be able to get back to me on it. So at any rate, those are some thoughts, but at any rate, if this 0.7 volts is in fact the RMS, and if we put a capacitor filter, actually we should have lines there. If we can put those capacitor filters, then the idea of getting, I figure we need 13 to 14 volts out of this thing to charge a battery. And it doesn't need to be super filtered, it just needs to have a peak, have an average voltage that's useful. Then I think we might be good to go. Especially anyway, we'll see. But anyways, any thoughts or ideas on it, let me know. Anybody appreciate it. Later.